they didn't do their job.
For the first time, we are hearing from a former employee at a North Idaho senior home that was found violating state rules just last month.
The cloud cover cleared out late today. We're tracking more sunshine and warmer weather for Thursday and Friday. I'll have a complete look at your forecast. And an investigation is underway after 2 cars caught fire in North Spokane early this morning. We have more on the investigation. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News at 6. I'm Tom Sherry.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Mark will be joining us for our red carpet event later this evening. We begin tonight, though, with more on the North Idaho senior care home found violating state rules last month. For the first time tonight, we are hearing from a former employee of Pacifica Senior Living in Pinehurst. As of right now, that facility is not allowed to accept any new residents and is temporarily under different management.
State investigators say that Pacifica failed to protect some seniors there from abuse. KREM 2's Taylor Vito has been following this story. He spoke with a former employee about what she saw while working at Pacifica in Pinehurst, Idaho.
Well, guys, the employee I spoke with last worked at Pacifica in April of last year. Now, it's important to note that she wasn't working at the home when state investigators were there last month. However, some of the employee's claims line up with what investigators ended up finding.
The whole time I saw problems.
When Janine Croston heard that Idaho state regulators slapped Pacifica Senior Living in Pinehurst with violations, she wasn't entirely surprised. Following complaints, state investigators last month determined that the care home failed to protect some residents from abuse and didn't properly watch over others. The home is under temporary management and can't accept new residents, state records show. A Pacifica employee today told me they couldn't comment for this story, but said they're conducting their own internal investigation and have made improvements.
I mean, just not caring, not having that concern. It's heartbreaking, really.
Croston says she used to work as a house manager at Pacifica Pinehurst. She worked there for about 6 months starting in November 2017 and then again in November of 2018 for a 5-month period. Croston says she wore many hats at the senior home, but primarily handled paperwork and placed orders for medications. During that time, Croston says a registered nurse wasn't on site as often as they should have been, and she claims unlicensed staff members made medical decisions for seniors at the home and prescribed medications they shouldn't have.
When you saw that happening, how did that make you feel?
It made me angry because, giving a medication that makes somebody tired that isn't prescribed to them because somebody doesn't want to take care of a behavior, instead of redirecting them, they would drug them up.
Again, Croston left Pacifica in April of last year, more than half a year before state investigators visited the senior home, but her claims are similar to what authorities found. Last month, state investigators wrote that Pacifica's administrator and other staff who aren't licensed medical professionals told employees to administer medications at the risk of residents' health and safety. In one section of the report, an employee told investigators that a sleep medicine was given to a resident without a doctor's order. One man had medication put into his coffee without his knowledge, investigators wrote.
It makes me sad because you get those residents, that's their home, you're supposed to be taking care of them. And when you read all those reports, it's disgusting.
Did they become like family to you?
Yes.
Croston says she eventually called the state and made a complaint of what she saw, but she adds that she feared retaliation while working there if she spoke up. Croston says she did speak with investigators last month and now hopes something will change.
My hopes is that with all of this being brought up from the state investigating and stuff, I hope it changes for them.
Okay, so what are officials with Pacifica Senior Living saying about all of this? Well, I called them today and spoke with an employee over the phone who said she couldn't comment. Neither of us mentioned Croston by name, but the Pacifica employee told me that former employees may possibly be disgruntled. The employee implied that Pacifica is making improvements and told me, quote, "We're doing well." In the studio, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
All right, Taylor, thank you very much. Can I just take a second and let's look at the sunset behind us because Wow.
Yeah.
I'd say we're
Wow.
headed in the right direction, Tom. As we kind of inch closer to the weekend, what's one thing we need to know?
Well, we've got more great weather on the way. Take a look at this. Partly cloudy skies and warmer weather Thursday and Friday. Friday will be the warmest day of the work week with temperatures climbing into the mid, maybe even upper 50s. Then for Saturday, Friday night into Saturday, we'll get cloud cover, maybe a chance of some valley showers and a little bit of mountain snow, but it should clear out nicely in time for Sunday. I'll check your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you very much. Fire crews investigating a possible arson that totaled 2 cars in North Spokane. Police arrived early this morning after neighbors reported those cars were on fire. The more damaged one is a 2019 BMW. Investigators believe someone tried to break into the car, and when they couldn't get in, they torched it. A Spokane fire captain says the incident is, quote, too suspicious to just be an accident. So right now they're looking into the case as possible arson. The owner of a Spokane Valley doggy daycare is defending his business 1 day after video went viral showing an employee hitting a dog on the head. Scraps is now investigating.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley spoke with the owner about that video and other claims of mistreatment at the business too. Amanda.
We received several messages from past customers and employees of this Spokane Valley doggy daycare claiming dog abuse here at this business. So we took those claims to the owner himself. We do want to warn you, the viral video filmed at Jeannie's Doggy Daycare and Pet Hotel in Spokane Valley may be difficult to watch. Owner Lonnie Kelp says this male employee seen hitting the dog has been fired and that he would never condone hitting the dogs in his care.
I think it's up to the owners of a company to make sure that they do their best to hire the best people they can for their company. But nobody's perfect. Nobody can tell you what an employee is going to do.
After we confirmed Scraps is investigating the incident, a few former employees contacted us, claiming the owner abused some of the animals and encouraged this type of treatment. I asked the owner about these claims.
We're not kicking the dogs. If anybody says that I allow them to kick the dogs, they are totally wrong.
But you are telling them to kick the dogs, though?
No. Just kicking towards them like this, more or less shuffling your feet like this. Because what happens is when you have 100 dogs that come up to the door, how are you going to get them back?
We also found multiple reviews of the Spokane Valley business online, some positive but some negative. Customers claiming their dog was injured or came home acting differently, even skittish.
Oh, guys, I know.
Kelp tells me he does not know why customers are saying this and insists he has never abused the animals in his care.
If you went through my training class, you'd be like, this is nothing like what the vice that people are saying that he does. Because why would I do something different with all my dogs than I would in my class?
Some might argue, well, of course you may act one way with your training class with the presence of their owners, but maybe another way when the owners aren't around.
I guess, you could put that perspective, but that's not who we've been for 18 years. That's not what 99%, or I should say 95% of our customers think about us.
We are currently waiting on Scraps to fulfill our records request of past reports of abuse at the business. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.